The theory of Arthur Beresford about his dream of life to be a knight, despite having a special ability to flourish crops, is revived again after he met the Pride Princess and vowed to protect her. His father Redrick, the commander of the Knight Acker and his slash for his special ability to be immune to blades, has always been someone whose footsteps he wants to heed. Although Arthur's parents have always been happy for his gifted knack, the unfavorable comments of people evaluating it as useless on the battlefield make Arthur step down his swordsmanship. But now to pursue his duty to enable himself for being a bodyguard of pride results in his practice with his father after years. Arthur puts his sword on his father's neck, but Redrick's agility entitles him to overthrow Arthur in a skilled move. He is amazed by Arthur's talent with blades even though he has not been training for years. For Arthur, his dad's wonderment is of no consideration as he is still defeated by him anyway. Arthur also asks his father about what kind of a person the crown princess is. On arrival of Arthur's mummy, Redrick hastily leaves for the castle, ditching her questioning about what the two were doing lately. Another vision of destiny, ascribing the Pride Queen's vileness that results in the hatred of Arthur to such a level that he abhors Tara, as well for sharing a bloodline with the Pride. Stale's interruption results in the arousal of Pride in the present where she's having breakfast. The trio goes to the practice ground to return the commander's jacket. The news of the Crown Princess's arrival spreads like wildfire, and Pride finds herself shrouded among knights as an impact of her irresistible stardom. The commander reaches there in no time and his forehead reveals how rashly he has dashed while apologizing to make Pride wait. Clark's revelation of the commander being drunk lately causes embarrassment to him. Pride asks him about Arthur's practice. Redrick proudly tells about Arthur's skill and resilience. It is for the first time Redrick embraces his son's talent openly, so this scene automatically delights everyone. He also says that Arthur inquired about Pride this morning. To speak of the devil, Arthur arrives there being obscene to his father. His face turns red upon noticing Pride in that crowd unexpectedly. As he moves to leave, Stale offers him to be his training partner. Shocked by the prince's offer to someone like him, he accompanies the prince, having suspicion in his head. Stale allows him to select a weapon of his choice for practice. Now it's time for Stale to be impressed by Arthur's dexterity as he blocks his surprise attack. He asks Arthur to appear in Order's entrance exam next year to be a part of a knight academy. To satisfy Arthur's suspicions, Stale informs him that he wants him to be a knight for Pride. He also asks Arthur to be informal as he's older than him. Such a welcoming attitude of the prince toward the commander's son, who has not even been to practice ground for so much time, is inconceivable to Arthur. Stale is adopted by the royal family to be a regent who assists Pride in her journey of being the heir to the throne. He owes so much to Pride that he secretly swears to defend her at any cost. The authenticity of Arthur's words while pledging to shield Pride made Stale trust him. He decides to safeguard Pride from any political crisis, and has an eye on her allies and enemies while expecting Arthur to be strong enough to protect her from any physical violence. Both of the boys team up for Princess. In their light mood, Arthur asks Stale to get rid of his creepy smile that Stale thinks of welcoming. He explains to him about various facial expressions. This turns out to be the onset of true comradeship. The Pride Princess, desperate to change her destiny, self-educates herself about the law of the state to prevent her evil queen version from manipulating it for her will. She wants to take all the possible measures to block her heinousness that would cause harm to innocent people of the country according to her precognition. Pride notices Tiara's book, which has a very attractive cover, and upon questioning she gets to know that it's about flowers. Tiara has charisma in her preferences just like her innocent essence. She asks Pride about her favorite prince while holding a picture of a couple, and upon resembling that ship Pride with Stale. But Pride thinks Tiara and Stale look good together. About her choice, she chooses the picture of the trio holding hands and laughing, as she wants them to remember how much love she has for them, even if she would turn evil at some point. The Queen asks Pride to come to the palace to look into the matter of captured prisoners. The criminal named Val has been involved in capturing Anemonian knights and attacking the royalties by using information acquired from them. He was leased by the party that is against the alliance of the Phrygia kingdom with the Animan state. Although the offenses are inexcusable, to ascertain her ability to rule in front of the Queen, Pride gives 3 options. Firstly, the execution of Val immediately. Secondly, hold the execution till reprieving the knights. Thirdly, to let him off the hook after recovering the Anemonian warriors and signing a fealty agreement. Upon the Queen's consent to decide the verdict, Pride chooses to rescue the knights first. Val is given the chance to decide his fate, whether it would be a death sentence or to pursue a life of slavery as per the statutes of the contract. Weathering the storm, Val chooses to live anyway and gives control of his life to the royalty. Signing the agreement binds him to always comply with and respect the royalties, not flee the country without permission, and never be offensive, not even in self-defense. After the successful rescue mission, Princess and Stale proceed to interview Val. Princess allows the criminal to spit out his true feelings about her as she has taken his life's control. Val bad-mouth her, but she accepts it. Her final conditions with which Val has to live his whole life are protecting Tiara as the most priority and coming to Pride in any emergency. Pride wants to change the saga she has in her head as the game memories of her past life. According to her vision, Val is the person Queen Pride uses to block Tiara, and that's why now she entitles Val to disobey any order if it comes against Tiara's protection. Putting Tiara's safety above her orders uncomforts Tiara and Stale a bit. The outcome of all this is in the form of Tiara considering herself weak, and a reason to take her sister back off by burdening her. Pride clarifies it as her love for Tiara and shows how precious she is to her. The following day, Pride and Tiara go to watch Stale practicing with Arthur. Pride's presence is enough to mesmerize the boys. Her gesture of picking the flowers for them adds to it. Stale is the symbol of wisdom and a bond thicker than blood, while Arthur is heroic, strong, and beautiful. Gasping the air while their hearts are fluttering, the boys can't stand Pride's compliment via her flower theory. Tiara has made flower ornaments but couldn't make one for Pride, so following her instruction, Arthur and Stale make two for Pride. Pride puts a flower in their heads that burst them into chuckles. Tiara also gets a flower crown from Pride, and the group cherishes the moments of genuine friendship and substantial bond. Soon Arthur leaves for training and practicing while Stale, Tiara, and Pride head to the court for some official matter. Their thrill is upsetting someone, and that person is no other than Prime Minister Gilbert. 2 years pass, and the oath-taking ceremony of the knights has someone special take a pledge from Princess Pride, and that is Arthur Beresford. The proud smile of the commander is a very elucidating proof of how much extraordinary capabilities Arthur has shown. Arthur gives a pair of glasses to Stale for ameliorating his similarity with the grumpy face of the Prime Minister. Gilbert sways Pride to get his proposal of registering the special abilities of the whole country to be accepted. As the king enrages over Gilbert, the duo leaves for a separate space to discuss the case. Albert's not approving the registration law irritates Gilbert that his friend is not putting all his efforts into his affair, but he has searched the rare ability of Stale and favors him for Pride by letting him meet his mother. The conversation is heard by teleported Pride with Stale, eavesdropping on the elders. Because of his fiance's ailment, Gilbert is desperate to find out the rare special ability to cure disease, and registering all over the country is a step toward that. He also asks Arthur about this ability during the ceremony, ensuring that there are rumors of such ability holders existing, and he has to find them. It's been 7 years since Marianne's sickness. Recollection of the secret character of ORL, a genius mastermind, Gilbert Butler, now finally revealed to Pride as an age manipulator whom she has not seen being middle-aged in the game. Pride's precognition, or her flashback of the game in her previous life, shows the next move of Queen Pride as she would ask Gilbert for his 5 years of service in exchange for helping him trace the ability he requires. The following day of contract and approval of the compulsory order of registration, Maria sighs her last breath. Queen captures all the special ability holders and forcibly makes them sign the fealty contract. The Frisia kingdom turns into a bloodbath as a consequence which satisfies Queen Pride's monstrosity. Remorse for his action and the pain of Maria's death leaves Gilbert unable to manipulate his age, so he can either be a 13-year-old boy or an elderly man. Princess Pride can't harm the basic rights of freedom of people. She has to block this move of Pride Queen in a month or a week, which is the time taken by a law to be approved. There is such a commotion in the palace. Gilbert is missing, and Pride consents that his haste would make him do the things that he shouldn't. Pride gets the precognition of Maria's death at dusk of the day. On the flip side, Gilbert is making a deal with some bums to get the information which doesn't set down well. Stale and Pride's teleportation at the spot saves Gilbert from trouble. The revelation of the expectancy of Maria's death shakes Gil to his core. Gilbert was from a low-key background and did everything from begging to stealing to make 2 ends meet after being orphaned. The still water of his life was vibrated by the stone of meeting a girl in the night who was trying to sneak out of her room, Marianne Edward. She was a girl who would be giving up her life in exchange for having a part in the loveliness of the world. Gilbert takes her to show the sight of the shining city, enchanting in the dark cloak of the night. The relationship with Maria brings a positive change in Gil, And instead of living life like the past, he improves himself and finds a job. Maria's engagement broke Gil's heart in pieces, but still, there is a brim of hope as the marriage would have to take place after 4 years when Maria would turn 16. The rare special ability of Gilbert as an age manipulator came as a gift of God to him in those days of anguish. Maria assured her love and waited for Gil as he promised to return before her wedding. In 4 years, Gil went places and his perseverance secured the position of Prime Minister of the Kingdom, enabling him to ask Maria's hand for marriage. Maria accepted his proposal without the delay of a second, and the couple moved to the palace. Those were the best days of their lives before the ailment of Maria overcame her.